Okay, this is the army I'm coming into battle with, and I decided to stay under scaling. But I also want to get my first snipers started, and I want to get my first cav unit started. I have about 15,000, I think, in supply, which is good. And because I like having lots of supply. So my two, I got the palmettos from Reputation. I did not take the 10-pound artillery. Uh, and the reason was I figured this would be very, very close combat, and the 6-pounders actually do very well at close range. You can get over 1,000 kills. And you'll see, I have a 6-pound battery at Shiloh that gets over 1,000 kills. I think it gets 1,500 kills, which all it has to do is be on the front line, and it'll do a job. At any distance, it's terrible, but at close range, these low-level guns, including 6-pounders, will get a lot of kills. So my two palmettos are, and I put all raw recruits into these units. 800 in size, that's fine. I have, to stay under scaling, I have 2 infantry units with 42s. That's pretty fragile. My thought is I can combine them together and they'll be 1,000. But in the beginning of the battle, maybe I'll use them to like cover more space. I have a small unit of snipers and a small cav unit, and I had I think it was 220 um, 55s for my cav unit, and so I only had to buy a couple of guns to get to 250. So the reinforcements, enemy reinforcements, will come in the northeast or the east, the southeast, and it is possible to kill the artillery in both areas. But what I decided to do was just come in and fight the battle face to face, the entire enemy army against my army, and see what happens. Because I'm really curious. I've already gotten a sense for how Legendary is different, and I just want to fight this straight up. My army against his army in this open area. Well, him in the open area, me in the woods in cover. And I have a sense that the enemy is going to come in and charge my position, and let's just see how it works out. I really want to get my snipers and my cav started for leveling up, and I want to get my artillery units started for getting kills. And that really is kind of my focus, is to get these auxiliary units and support units leveled up. And at this point, I don't realize how many casualties my infantry is going to take. And it takes a while before, actually a couple battles, before I notice that all of the enemy reinforcements are veterans and that the training level just keeps going up, 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 and up. And it's on its way to, it goes straight away into the high 60s, and then, yeah, it just ridiculous. It's on its way to 70. And it's not until I think Antietam that he starts to get green replacements, or replacements that aren't high level experienced troops. The army's coming in, my artillery's moving forward. I can see right away that he's, 900 plus men and 3 stars. And here's another unit, over 1,000, 3 stars. So not that much of a surprise that the enemy is 3 stars. What I am kind of surprised about is that it's pretty much all 3 stars all the time. That's kind of a surprise, and I think that is more a function of just the bad die roll. It's the percentage of troops that are green and the percentage that are veteran, I think, is random. And I think I just got some bad die, just luck of the draw. So I'm waiting until my artillery gets up. I'm very happy that the enemy is not charging right away before my artillery gets in position. I'm surprised that the enemy backs up a little bit. That's hits me as weird. So, but he's backing up. But that's going to change in just a moment. And here he comes. My artillery is not quite in place, but I need for them to stop because they have a little moment of reloading or loading up, and I want them to hit this guy with canister. My goal is to make sure that this charging unit with this hidden charge number at 100, knock him down before he gets into melee. I absolutely do not want to get into melee with his 3-star units. And to my surprise, he takes some hits and stops. Now, I really want him to just stand there for a while. So the right thing to do in that situation is actually make sure the artillery shifts right away so that he stands there for as long as possible. Because as long as he's morale shocked, he's not going to fire effectively. He's just going to stand there and die. So I don't want him to retreat when he's morale shocked. I want him to stand there. And I kind of get used to that. And your canister will make him retreat when he's morale shocked. So one of the things that I started doing is make sure that my artillery is not firing at anyone who's flashing white. So yeah, if they're flashing white, I want them to stand in place and die. So, oh, here come his reinforcements. And his artillery came in from the bridge to the right, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I see 2 of his infantry. I see his artillery there. I'm going to go ahead and try to make a wild dash around the flank of this enemy unit. Because if I can get behind him, I will take some, it's not cheesy. I see his units. I'll be able to take some shots on his artillery. His guys are charging in. I'm making sure my artillery shifts fire to whoever is charging to stop them from charging. Now his units are down to 800 and taking canister to the face. This is perfect. Now my guy in the fort is going to take fire from different directions, and when he does, he's probably going to rout because that's what he does. So I think my cav units took a hit. Oh, look how fast that guy is moving. But he stopped right perfectly. He stopped where I have 3 units that can fire into him. And I really should have hit pause because I think I'm having my artillery fire at that guy. And you don't want your artillery to fire at somebody that's flashing white. Big takeaway on Legendary. I would have liked that he would have stood there until he died. And what's interesting is on Legendary, well, at least when they get higher in training, that they will stand there until they die. I mean, they'll stand there and lose hundreds of men, which is terrific. So the Cav, instead of running up and taking a shot, ran up and got into melee. My skirmisher unit in the woods did well on melee. Something down to the right, I paid more attention to the bottom right during the game than just now. But yeah, he got his infantry charged. And now his infantry is in a position where I have guys on both sides of him. So I can hit him front and rear. My little 500-man infantry unit is like perfectly in position. So his infantry that's to the south cannot defend his front and rear, and he has no flank support. So my skirmisher unit is in the woods and will be able to stand there all day and fire into him until he runs out of ammo. My little 500-man 1842 unit can walk up in the woods and fire into him also into the rear. Meanwhile, my cav is just pestering his artillery and is doing good work and getting kills, so that's all good. So I'm going to make sure I drive this guy back. That's 800 men. He needs to take a hit. He's sprinting in front of my artillery. My artillery is going to hit him in the flank, that 800-man unit. That guy doesn't break. He charges right through blasts of artillery to the flank, and he just keeps going, and he doesn't care, just shrugs it off. So yeah, my unit in the fort should be getting a melee buff at this point, and his 3-star unit should be taking flanking fire. It's all good. It's all good, and my cav is doing a good job of keeping his artillery Not just busy, but inflicting casualties. Yeah, just get free shots. Happy day. And yeah, my little unit of 1842s, now under 500 men. If what I'm thinking right now is if I can get that guy to take some shots to the rear, he might morale shock and stand there and die, or he might retreat. And if he does, he should retreat south. And if he retreats south, I can kill him. Because what will happen is my two cav units, who are very shortly going to run out of things to do to the north, can go to the south. I mean, if this guy routes to the south, he's dead. The other thing I see is I see his supply wagon flashes visible, and that supply wagon is crucial. Because if I still that, one, he runs out of supply, and two, I get to blast away with artillery basically the entire battle, and I have no supply problems for this entire battle, and he will have supply problems. So, yeah, seeing the supply wagon was a huge, huge boon. So just going up and firing at his artillery did good, but also stealing that supply wagon was really great. Now I'm looking at my units hitting his infantry front and rear. That's great, but I think as soon as I grab the supply wagon, I think, let's run the cav down and not just hit that unit in the flank, but also if my cav gets there, he will certainly retreat south. And this is a great opportunity for my infantry unit, my little 1842 infantry unit, and my cav unit to get a whole bunch, well, to get 700 free kills. So, yeah, it's great. It's absolutely terrific. Be very happy to do that. So, yeah, those two guys, they're out of sight right now. His main army can't see my cav units roll up. They should be invisible. I think one of them just got visible. And I think if you dismount your cav, they do double damage from mounted. So yeah, I could dismount these guys, but he's already starting to rout. Now all I have to do is make sure he doesn't rout into melee. That would be bad. I'd like for him to rout into a corner somewhere, and then just sit and pick them apart slowly, or however long it takes. And one of his units will be dead, and my unit will just rack up free XP at no cost, because he can't defend himself. And I've, particularly having a lot of cav units, I've gotten used to doing this. His units that get isolated, hit him in the flank and rear with your highly mobile cav. Eventually they morale shock, eventually they retreat, push him into a corner, and then just, get free shots on him and milk the XP. And yeah. And while my units, when your cav is mounted, they take greater losses, but dismounted, they take much fewer losses. So my units are now in a position where, although they're small, they're dismounted, they're in the woods, and they're going to do double damage and take much, much fewer losses than they otherwise would if they were mounted. And I have that little tiny skirmisher unit, and I don't really care that he's out of ammo. He can just shoot as frequently as he can. These guys don't need ammo to do this. They can just... they're going to wipe this guy out, given time. And pretty much it's free. So I have my sniper unit, took a hit, went from 150 down to 138, but he can now sit there and just get free shots. Happy to do that for the rest of the game. The enemy is just wants to stand out there and let me shoot at him. All I'm doing is letting time pass until I can get my cav back into the battlefield. Okay, I guess he has enough of it, and he comes in for a charge. We're gonna get into melee. Wow, his both units just broke right away. That was a surprise. So his numbers are definitely getting smaller. He's gone from about 1,000 in size. I'm looking at about 600. I want him to come in with some of his bigger units, knock those guys down. Um, wow, wow, that unit that came in at about 600 is got really chopped up. Um, yeah, I really don't want my sniper to take any more hits. So yeah, that Palmetto started at 800 and he's only at 730 something. He's not doing badly. Yeah, my other supply wagon is fine, so I use my captured supply wagon to resupply my cav. Yeah, my allied cav is to the front, and my cav unit is to the flank of this unit. Perfect. Dismount and fire and do double damage, and that unit is very close to the corner of the map where he will have to stop and then die. So even my little skirmisher unit of under 100 men can sit there and help rack up kills. So it's all outstanding. Yeah, my main supply wagon is still full. So yeah, he's coming in at about almost 700. Yeah, you have to check on where your artillery is firing all the time because guaranteed they're going to fire at the wrong thing. So I just move the cursor over my units to see, and almost invariably somebody's firing at the wrong thing, either an infantry unit or an artillery unit. Yeah, the unit in the corner is about to die, so I get the skirmisher unit in the right corner to start moving because he needs to get started because the cav is going to be able to rejoin the battle quickly. The dismounted skirmisher unit takes a while. So yeah, the cav is going to have having a little picnic down there. And yeah, the unit that charged in, very happy to see that. He took a bunch of losses. That's good. I don't want to block the guys that are in the fort. So yeah, he sees an opportunity, he charges. That's good. That means he's going to take canister to the face. All my units on the left are going to get a shot on his cav, which is getting down in size. His infantry unit that, what did it start at? About 700, and yeah, lost 200 men at almost no cost to me. So yeah, happy to see all of that. Yeah, I thought he was still alive. Yeah, that unit is small, but I just noticed that unit is only a 1 star. Well, enjoy that while you get to see those. They're rare in this series. So So I'm still waiting on the cav units to finish wiping out the unit in the corner, and then they'll rejoin the battlefield. The skirmisher unit that's under 100 men finally caught up. The supply wagon is back with the main army. The enemy, I just double checked to make sure he's not hiding on the edge of the bridge somewhere. Nope, he's gone, so mount those guys up and they'll get back into the battle very quickly. Unfortunately, there's not another supply wagon or something to get a hold of. So my 2 infantry units are pretty small. So I've just rearranged my army a little bit. Sent up a skirmisher around the left. Um, my left flank, the enemy's right flank. I want to get visibility on the enemy targets. I need to stay in cover because he still has his artillery, even though my cav has done a pretty good job of inflicting damage. Yeah, 2 supply wagons. That's nice. And here he comes charging in with that little tiny cav unit of his. Would love to take a few shots on him. Wow, and to my surprise, here's coming all the infantry and artillery. So I'm wondering if he's going to make an all-out push for the victory location. That would be interesting. And those 3 units would probably take it if that 1 unit in the fort was unsupported. Yeah, and he's going for it. There he goes. 540 men charging in. And I'm going to get a shot on his flank. And his cav unit is now very tiny. Wow, one of his units just shattered. The unit in the fort getting that extra range, it just did a bunch of damage. His artillery is out of ammo. Hopefully my cav will keep picking on him. His infantry standing in the middle of that field, not even thinking about routing. There he goes. Now he's going to rout. So my cav is taking some hits, but he might take that artillery out. That's really neat. So I decide to keep picking on him. And if my infantry can catch that little artillery unit in the open, it might kill him. So my Sharps is getting free shots. No reason to be in a hurry. I've played this battle, well, really, when I started playing Ultimate General Civil War, I did not rush the battles. I took my time and fought the battle the way that I would. Um, very set piece. The way basically I was taught strategy and tactics. So, yeah, I didn't rush. Don't want to throw away the lives of the infantry. So, yeah, I did that from the very beginning. So I've never fought any of these battles, even on Brigadier General with rushing to try to hit the clock. And what I found is that you get a whole lot more time with almost all of these battles than you think. And now some of them, a timer will start if you take a victory location. But this battle here goes on for a very long time. It's not that big a deal in this battle, but the amount of time that you can milk out of the system does become a big deal in battles. pretty much after this. So, and there are links that tell you how much time you have, the absolute maximum amount of time. And I mean, some of the battles don't end till 2100, 2300. So, yeah, plenty of time. Just take your time, systematically take the enemy out, step by step. I'm checking the morale of my units, and they're doing just fine. And that guy shattered. So one after another, we're taking these guys out of the game. And here's an infantry unit. I decide to run in front of the infantry unit. Kind of hoping my guys don't get shot, but they do take a shot to the rear. That's unfortunate. My artillery is just about up. It took a while to move them to the flank. Yeah, that little 200-man unit isn't going to do anything interesting to the force on my right. Yeah, if I get a shot on that guy, yep, gone. Yeah, he was flashing white and down to 150, so. So my cav unit is getting a bunch of kills. That's nice. And his artillery is down to 49 men. So the only thing that can really sneak in to snag the fort to the south now is his cav units. But I have a pretty good handle on where his cav units are. So my sniper's still racking up free kills. That's outstanding. I have no idea why he does this with his artillery, but occasionally he'll do this. This is just something the AI does. Advance with his artillery. This becomes a really suicidal thing to do after I build several batteries of 12 guns with 20-pound Parrots, James's, Whitworths, even the 6 rifle, 6 wired. Yeah, he'll advance his artillery in the open, and my several, I mean, you'll see it in Second Bull Run. I put all these long-range guns on a ridgeline, and he advances artillery across an open field, and my long-range guns just absolutely slaughter him. I don't know why he does that, but it's something he does. And right now he has his artillery on his right, my left, is in the open, and that's great. I'll be able to kill him. And he has one on, yeah, his artillery is kind of vulnerable right there. His cav is at least contained. Now, one of the things that's really interesting is his one infantry unit is not taking many losses because there's a huge cover bonus. And so his one infantry unit to the left, in the left corner, looking at the fort, that guy's getting a huge cover bonus. I'm trying to get my artillery rolled up to hit him at close range with canister, but he's taking hardly any losses as he stands there. And my army isn't doing much to him. My army's taking losses and not really inflicting, you know, like he hits mine and my units drop a lot of men, and then I hit him and do what appears to be nothing. A couple of casualties. So my one unit is morale shocked. This is something I've noticed. When I combine these units, and I never noticed this before, but it happens every time in these on Legendary. When I combine units to get bigger numbers, the units perform very badly. They're more likely to get morale shocked, to rout, to turn their flank to the enemy and get a flank shot. This happens over and over again, and I don't really notice that it happens every single time until it's Gaines's Mill or, oh, Malvern Hill. Malvern Hill. Two of my best units, I merge them, and they just perform horribly. It becomes a single unit, and that unit is just completely dysfunctional for the entire battle. Why that is, I don't know if it's just on Legendary that became a problem, but or the enemy just does more damage, and that's why. But man, I just had a really hard time with combining units and then them performing like just rookies as soon as they were combined. So yeah, this guy's making a dash for the victory location. My two units routed, and you know the victory location is open, so he's making a dash for it. Yeah, that guy in the south, he just refuses to budge. That guy in that fort, even though he's taking canister, he's just absolutely refusing to budge. And I have him down to about 400, and he's still fighting. And wait till these guys all have 3 stars. I mean, this is just 1 star. So this guy in the southern fort is annoying me. I'm going to go after him. And this guy in the fort that just absolutely is shrugging off canister shots, I'm going to get tired of him very shortly too. So yeah, he actually takes the fort. Of course, he's not going to hold it for but a couple seconds. Finally, that guy folds in the north fort. Yeah, the guy in the southern fort. He's now routed, and my 2 cav units will be able to, should be able to take care of him pretty easily. Yeah, I think I'm actually like 8 minutes from losing the battle if I don't retake the fort, but, you know, I'm going to retake the fort. Yeah, this guy in the fort's going to be meleeed from different directions and should win that pretty easily. Yep, and he's gone. Get down to 177 men. Okay, that... I just wanted him to shoot, not get into melee. But I appear to be doing okay in the melee. I'm trying to get him out of there. I really just want these guys to shoot, not to, I mean, because it's a free kill. All they've got to do is run this guy down and shoot at him, not kill him. So that looked like a terrain glitch. Letting my infantry just rest, get the units positioned. We have plenty of time. It's only 1400. I think I have plenty of time. And if I don't, that's okay. Yeah, there we go. I dismounted cav unit, get free shots on this morale shocked unit. 400 kills, not bad. He's actually charging in. This is legendary. He is a guy of 250 men charging in to the attack against a much bigger unit, and yeah, and he's dead. The enemy just will not stop attacking. His cav unit, on Major General, that cav unit would probably not attack like that. The infantry unit wouldn't have attacked like that. He'll just keep attacking. Have 1,000 men in a fort backed up by artillery, and his little 200-man cav unit will just keep attacking over and over again. So these are pretty much free shots with allied units. So let them just finish this cav unit to the north off. Yeah, the guy in the south is only 200 and something men. Just basically making sure my guys don't take any losses and get any free kills I might be able to rack up. That's pretty much it. Should turn my supply wagons off. That I didn't think of that at the time. Not a big deal. So everyone has pretty good cover. Pretty good morale. Okay, another cav unit is dead. Yeah, he's charging. Yeah. He's charging. That's great. I've got him in the open. Maybe I can charge him and rack up some and take him out. He's down pretty tiny, and he's morale shocked, and he's gone. So yeah, 1,500 losses, 6,000 killed. Yeah, a lot of that was allied units. He came in with, wow, a whole bunch, over 7,000. I came in with about 5,000. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, it was a good first battle with my army that I sort of created, and see you in the next video. Thanks.